Hello everyone. Starting a business is very exciting. The sky seems to be the limit. But when it comes to nurturing a successful business, the game can be tricky. The most important matters that every startup must need to get right is the legal aspect of their business. Because a failure to do so may result in hefty losses and even affect the viability of your business. So, in order to help business owners in this quest, we are going to conduct today's session on legal solutions that every startup must follow to safeguard their intellectual property. And to discuss about it, today we have with us Senior Advocate, Delhi High Court, Founder KM Law Firm, Advocate Kunal Madan. Welcome to Women Talk, Kunal.
Yes, hello everyone. So let's start off with this session. So, what the first thing comes to
Kunal, my first question from you is: what are some legal issues that are faced by the startup, most of the startups, because they are not aware of the legal aspect of running a business. So, what are the common issues faced by them?
So, if you are a legal startup, the first thing which should come into your place or the place of business, or when you are starting a business, even before you have an idea, is to get a model of your business, an entity of your business at the right frame of mind and at the right frame of the legal parameters. And what is that? So there are three legal parameters and there are three type of legal entity one startup should consider even before launching a business. One, whether you will be doing your business in a startup model in the terms of proprietorship, or in terms of a partnership, or in terms of a company. In company also you have two options, whether to form a limited company or a private limited company. And in today's scenario, there is a company like partnership firms, which is called LLP, Limited Liability Partnership Firms. So these are the 3 to 4 type of business entities which a startup should consider even before launching a business. So there are certain legal parameters that how much do you want to delegate. In companies, the delegation of work is very easy. Proprietorship model is very difficult. In partnership model, it is also not very easy. And what scale of your business you want to take your business into? You want to deal into national level, multinational level, or what is the vision of your business model? So considering the vision of your business model and considering the delegation models, considering the number of employees, considering, there are many other aspects. So all these aspects you need to consult a good lawyer, and you need to strategize even before you launch a business that what type of entity you need to form. So this is a first and foremost basic pillar of the business that you need to get it right. Because if you get it wrong, you're asking for trouble.
Because with every form of company's registration, there are certain compliances that has to be managed when you start a business.
Yes, of course. If you are in a proprietorship model, the compliances are little less. Even if you are in a partnership business, the compliances are not that much. But if you are forming a company, that obviously compliances of the business are very hefty, and you need to take care of the compliances every month or every 3 months.
So now, what legal documents does a startup must need to have, and what all preparation has to be done in terms of documentation?
First of all, if you are starting a business and if you have got your business model right, so it depends what type of business are you in. There are certain contracts there are certain terms and conditions which you need to formalize. That what are the terms and conditions that dealing with your vendors, dealing with the government, dealing with your banks, dealing with your clients, dealing with other business houses, B2B model. So all those terms and conditions need to be finalized. And the terms of condition then would be the basis of your formal contracts, the purchase orders, the delivery orders, the invoicing, what terms and conditions you find in your invoicing, in terms of delay of payment, in terms of jurisdiction of in case of any dispute. So all those things need to be finalized at beforehand, when you're starting your business.
Right.
Aspect of your business when you start is you must protect your intellectual property. You must get the registration of your intellectual property, trademarks, and copyright done. And as much as possible, you must formulate your contracts and try and avoid the litigation in India as possible. Because in India, litigation takes a long time. Even the smallest of litigation goes to Supreme Court, High Courts, and it takes years to resolve a very small matter. So it takes away your energy you are carrying to, thrive your business. And you really, really need to avoid your litigation as far as possible. It should be your last resort. It should not be your first resort. It should be always the last resort when talks and other things. Every business house must have a mindset to avoid litigation as far as possible.
Kunal, what are the intellectual property and how and why it is necessary to register them? Because normally what happens, we register our physical property, but we don't register our intellectual property. So why people don't do that? Is there lack of awareness, and how we can do that? We can register that.
Yeah. So I'll just give you one small example. Just think of a toothpaste. What pictures come into your mind? What kind of picture comes into your mind? If I say toothpaste, which brand comes to your mind?
Colgate.
Great. If I tell you, let's suppose, if I tell you atta, which pictures come into your mind? Flour, maida,
Ashirvad, Shakti. These are the brands.
Yeah. So the intellectual property is your branding, is your trade name, is the kind of the color combination, the way you use the font, the color combination you use, the name you use. That is the intellectual property. You have created a brand, you have created your goodwill. People recognizes your product by your trade name.
Right.
So this is one aspect of intellectual property, which is called trademarks, right? And if I talk about other copyright is like you make any movie, you make any video, you click any picture, which uses a creative part of you. So that is your copyright. You can get those picture and those videos are copyright. So that no one can copy that. No one can copy that picture or movie without your. Yeah. And then you can, if somebody does that, you can sue them for piracy. Right. So intellectual property right is basically your artwork of your business, which has some intellectual value, some goodwill, and a creation of the mind, the artwork you do. You have a physical property, and then you have an intellectual, means the creation of your brain. Your artwork, your business, your trademarks, your movie, your if you write a book, even that can be copyrighted. So yes, these are those intellectual property which you can get it registered under different laws.
Kunal, when we register our company, there are like founder, co-founder. So what are the key components that has to be mentioned in the agreement of founders agreement? Please tell us about that.
Yeah. So there are a few. Look, I would make it a generalized content so that not only in the founders and co-founders agreement, those basic principles can even be taken right into any of your contract. Any of your contract. Right. Every legal document is based on 5 principles that I am going to give you right now, and I think that would be the major takeaway of the audience right now. Okay. So first is key responsibility. You have to define the key responsibility of all the founders, co-founders, and all the person you are dealing with in that agreement. Let's suppose we are having an agreement between A to B, or A, B and C, or A, B, C and D. So the key responsibilities of all those parties to the contract need to be very specific and need to be very well defined. What are the key parameters? आपका क्या role रहेगा? What would be your role? What would be your responsibility? This is point number 1. Point number 2 is what are the timelines? What are the timelines which needs to be performed for those key responsibilities? And the third is, if you don't perform those key responsibilities within the given timelines, what would be the damages and what would be the consequences?
That is very important.
Right? And the fourth and very important point is, what is the consideration that you are exchanging between yourself, between the parties to the contract?
Okay.
But let's suppose you are exchanging 100 rupees. What the other person is giving you in terms of the return of your 100 rupees. So the consideration is also very important part of any contract. And an agreement without consideration is void ab initio. If you don't want a consideration in any agreement, it is not valid as per law, as per Indian Contract Law. And the fifth and last point is, if there is any dispute, which jurisdiction would you refer to? Whether you would refer to arbitration, whether you refer to the jurisdiction in New Delhi, whether you refer to jurisdiction in Mumbai. If the parties, are in international contracts, what jurisdiction would they refer to? So these are the 5 basic backbone of any agreement. Whether it is co-founder agreement, whether it is agreement with your vendors, whether it is agreement between your clients. So these are the basic terms and conditions which fulfills most of the parameters of law.
Now, after registering the company and getting the agreement signed with the founder, then comes the employee hiring. When we hire an employee, then how to protect the rights of employer and employee, both so that we can maintain a balance. It should not be like only favorable for the employer or only favorable for the employer. So please tell us the key points of that type of agreement.
Yes. So, between an employer and employee, the basic terms and conditions which governs any relation is the appointment letter. You have to formalize an appointment letter where you define each and every term, the working hours, the place of working, then what are the properties which employees would be getting from the intellectual property or the other property which would be getting from the employer, which they have to return, how many leaves are allowed, what are the working hours, and what is the basis, what should be the basis of the termination of the contract by the employee and by the employer. how much time does the employer wants to keep him for probation. So, all these points need to be considered in basic appointment letter. And after that, we can also have to protect the rights of the employer, so that they have a minimum guarantee of employee working for at least 2 years to 3 years, or 4 years, 5 years. So one really has to get the bond signed from the employer. And in that bond also, all those terms and conditions, the 5 parameters need to be taken care of.
Right. Now the last point comes the sale. Why we are running the businesses. So why it is very important to govern every sale by a very well written contract, because there are so many incidences of payment lapse, delay. So it is very necessary to govern this sale module especially. Don't you think so? And how we can do that?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So in sale, you have to get your documentation absolutely right. As I told you, there should be purchase order. If you are having a purchase order, the terms and conditions of the purchase order need to be defined. And if not a purchase order, if you are dealing with clients which does not have a purchase order in your business model, then the sale need to be confirmed through email, and the terms and conditions is very vital. So what are the deliverables from your side, and what are the deliverables from the other side? What is the key consideration? And what should be the terms of payment? And what are your deliverables? What are your timelines? What are the damages if they don't pay you at given point of time which has been defined in the contract? So ideally, if you're doing a sale, I would prefer an advance payment, full advance payment, if it is possible in your business model. But if it is not possible in your business model as advance payment, you should at least have a PDC.
Right.
And you should at least have a post-dated check, so that at least you have something in your hand which binds other party to a criminal procedure under Section 138, also Negotiable Instrument Act, and you can avail certain other rights in the other remedies of law, where the recovery process is a bit quicker than otherwise, than a normal recovery.
So that means for managing all these aspects of a business, we must need a legal advisor.
Yes. Of course, a legal advisor can define the terms for you, can write the terms for you, can make your contract a watertight contract, so that nothing in the law can evade your rights, and you can have various remedies in various other laws. To protect your rights, you must get a legal advisor.
Right. So, in order to protect our rights, our sale, our company, our intellectual property, it is very important to have a legal parameter decided for your startup. So, we would recommend to must hire a legal advisor for your startup if you want to make a difference or run a very successful. Thank you so much, Kunal, for sharing a deep insight on the key aspects of legal solutions for a startup. Thank you so much, Kunal.
Thank you, Poonam, for inviting. Thank you so much.